Hello and welcome to Stir Crazy Art Class with Gerald Savine, lesson number 40. We're going to continue with painting the background here. I'll show you both pictures. The one we're really sort of aiming for, but you've got the colouring here for the couple of beech trees that were there, and the darker colouring for the fir trees in the background, and we're going to get some more of the colouring in here for the trees that are in the distance. So again, you can see there's less detail, less colouring. So again, I'll leave this one here. I won't be getting this all done now because this isn't the time, but hopefully you'll be able to pick up enough information to carry on and work your way through and get it done. Now what I'm going to do is start off with, I'm going to, again, using the brush, number 8 brush, I'm thinning down some green. And there's, again, I have to say, this is a bit different from the original paint. But imagine this is a field at the moment, or we're coming down from down the hillside. There's a lot of, in fact, there's a lot of wooded areas, but also there is a lot of open countryside. I'll just gradually bring in a little bit more pigment here, and I'm just going to dab it on just to give a little bit of character to the ground, but just working across. Alright, so I did this now, so it gives a chance to dry off before I do anything over here. Now I'm going to go back over to this side here. Again, we're going to start bringing in some of the trees. On the basis of, normally I say work from the back forward. Here we're going to work slightly the other way around, because we're also working with watercolour. You have to work from light colouring to dark colouring, and of course, as you can see here, the copper beeches are lighter colouring. So I've already got mixed up, well, out of the tubes. I've got raw sienna, burnt sienna, and also burnt umber ready to use. Again, as ever, we're not going to go splodging in too strongly to start off with, so I'm going to dab some colour here. I'm dabbing it. We're going to be, now because we're working with the lighter colouring first, we'll be painting over that, and the darker colouring will show up better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to bring this down a bit lower so we can get some other trees in, the fir trees in later. But again, you'll see that as we come along. So I'm working my way across here quite quickly. Again, when you've got time, look at what I've been doing, the rest of the painting. Again, here we've got this group of trees through here. Careful up against this tree. Try not to let a white space come into that area there. Try and get the colour right the way up. Again here, it's not exactly the same each time you do these paintings. They never work out exactly the same each time, but that doesn't matter. As long as it looks good, at the end of the day, the most important thing is, has it made a nice painting. Again, over here a bit more. This is the island. Now again, I'm putting the colour on quite thinly here, but you'll see shortly how it builds up, and you can see more of the things that are going on. Now I won't go right across to here. I'll let you sort that one out yourself in between the sessions. So I'm just going to do this like this. Now by this time, hopefully this has dried back a bit. I'm now going to bring in some of the burnt, well, what I do first of all, I'm going to get some stronger pigment on, stronger colouring, and just start to dab the colour on. Can you see the differences? Give a bit of character to the trees. If you can remember when we did the trees on the Malvern Hills painting, the same applies here. You know, just building up, dabbing the colour, because they're in the distance. There's less information there, as it were, going on. But as you can see, as you will see shortly, will be again the light's coming from the left, so we're going to put a bit more. This is acting as almost sort of shadow, as it were, on the copper beech trees. But again here, hopefully as you'll see, going to be careful along the water's edge here. Maybe slightly, again, it's just more pigment on the brush rather than actually changing the colour at this moment in time. We will change the colour in a moment. But the darker colouring let the tops of the trees that are on the left-hand side, where they're lighter, where the light's catching them, to show up a bit more. So again here, wash the brush out, take most of the water off. I'm going to pick up burnt sienna now, so we can begin to get a bit more character into the things. You will find this will bleed a little bit because these are still a bit damp. If you're a bit more patient, a bit more time, then just let some of these to dry off first. But can you see it's just beginning to have a feeling? The shapes of the tree is beginning to show up. Now I'm leaving some of the white areas, because what's going to happen is that's going to be green, because we had the fir trees and things that are there were showing up as well. So again here, just working round. Again, I have to be quite quick doing this, because again, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. You've got plenty of time, but I say normally, if you look at my website and see some of my paintings, and even my dear Janice's paintings, we've obviously spent a lot more time on getting our paintings done. For doing these, to showing you what to do, the amount of time we've got. But again, you can see it's just beginning to get some character into it. Again, if you look at the big paintings that are here, the ones that have already been done, you'll see that get some idea really what you should be doing. The other quick out of interest, this bit here I've left off altogether. These are trees that are right by the accommodation we were staying in, whereas this is the other side of the water. Now then, whilst that's beginning to cut back a bit, now hopefully I won't come a cropper with this. I'm going to pick up some green. Again here, in fact what I'm going to do is wash my brush out. Not wash my mouth out, wash my brush out. I'm going to use a number, I think this is number 6, this one. Yeah, number 6, slightly smaller, because what I want to do, I want to get a bit more character into what's going to go on here. Now, this is colour, I'm just going to go paint round the trees here. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to bring in, you again can bring in the mix of you can bring in ultramarine blue into the green. In fact, what I will do is I will do that myself. I won't use Payne's grey here. I'll get you to do what I'm telling you could be doing, so you get a better idea. I know it's suggesting use Payne's grey in places. Now what I'm going to see, that's made it darker green here, richer green, and I'm doing that because these are the trees here are the fir trees, and they have a totally different shaping to the copper beech trees. So they're going up in the air more. Right, again, so here we're going to, this nice sort of forest of trees beyond the copper beech trees. So every time I sort of see this place now, I think, oh, it'd be lovely to be back up there again, which we normally try and do in the November times, every other year. And just such lovely places to visit, and up that way, end of the world, nearby towns, and even Glasgow and Edinburgh, which you can get to quite quickly. So again, here we've got that lot going on there. Now here, I'm going to slightly different style here. I'm still going to use the green, and I'm just going to dab it on. Again here, I'm just going to go round. Can you see how I'm shaping just a little bit round up against the tree there? It's unfortunately it's still a bit damp, but again, we're having to watch the time. But here I'm just using paint straight from the tube, as it were. I haven't particularly watered it down very much, just a bit of character. But allowing then, you see, begins to give the sort of grouping of trees, get a bit of character to the painting. So you've got those ones going up and down like that because they're the fir trees. These other ones are ordinary trees in with the other ones. But again, going round, bit of character. So you can go, because it's darker, you can work your way around a bit, and it gives a bit of character to the, get a bit of shaping to the trees that are there. Can you see that? So it's, I just always find it quite something that you can do all this, and obviously when you're nearer to the trees like this, you wouldn't, just put a bit of colouring on there as well. You'd have a lot more detail, but here we've got a lot less detail in the trees. I won't go too much there because I'm going to bring more of the dark brown into that. Let's hope we just have to watch the time. And again down here, when you get down to here, start off with very thin colouring. I'm going to do this very, very quickly. I'll just show you the edging here. Coming down to the water's edge, straight into there. I've done this lighter. Now this isn't going to work out very well, I'm afraid, but then you can then dab in pigment straight from the tube, and again it's just sort of blending a bit. We're going to go running out of time very, very shortly. I'm sorry about this. So normally when we did this before, we used to have a whole day workshop, so we have a morning, afternoon time to get all this done. But then that's why I will paint some more of this in between now and the next session. And I'm hoping that you're just beginning to, and I'm going to bring in a bit more of the blue in, and I'm just going to darken some of this down here as well. So again, I think we're just about coming up to the time, is it? Another minute, I've been told. So, but hopefully that's just giving you, again, I'm just going to put some darker bluing into there, give you some idea. Can you look back at the picture here? Look how it works. Got some brown in there, burnt, with a burnt umber to give it a bit darker as well. So I'll be doing that, but between now and the next session, so that we can then get on with painting the foreground. Okay, so we'll say goodbye for now and see you later.